In this video, I'll be breaking down a $1 creative versus a $1,000 creative, showing which one performed better, as well as the concept of creative volume and breaking some beliefs that you might have about how to get more creative into an account. Now, I will admit this is an exaggerated title. In reality, this is probably a $10 creative versus something like a $350 to $400 creative, but the point still stands, which is that the creative on the right cost almost 40x more to produce than the creative on the left. They're both pushing towards the exact same call to action, the exact same product. And you might think on the surface that one is going to perform better than the other, but it's not going to. Now, I would provide an e-commerce creative here to provide context within ecom, because this whole channel is about ecom, but I haven't had approval from any clients on being able to show their ads and what's actually performing well and what's not, which is completely fair enough. So I've had to take one of our own ads to be able to prove this point, but the point still stands and the numbers are still clear. So what I want to do is play you 4 to 5 seconds of the ad that cost $10 to make, and then 4 to 5 seconds of the ad that cost $1,000 to make, and then we'll break down the differences and then ultimately the results. So here is ad number 1. Your meta ads aren't scaling because you're not launching enough creative. This calculator shows you exactly how many creatives you need to launch per month to hit your revenue targets. And here is number 2. You're burning thousands of meta ads because you're not launching enough creative. We're giving away our free creative calculator. Here's how it works. You download the calculator for free, you input your ad history, and it then tells you exactly how many creatives. So, core differences between the two assets. One is shot on a 4K camera with a proper lighting rig. The first one is shot POV on a phone with me not even looking at the camera correctly and me not even being framed correctly. The professional ad has graphic overlays that have been animated in. This has been scripted correctly with a teleprompter used to stay on script. This was completely ad hoc and shot with no script in place. And the quality is pretty evident out of the gates. This is what you would call an ugly ad. This is what you would call probably a proper ad. However, what does the performance actually look like? Well, this ad outperformed this ad by about 25%. So cost per leads and all core KPIs that we're measuring around this particular ad, click-through rates, click to opt-in rate on landing page, 25% better on the ugly ad. Despite this ad taking roughly 10 minutes to make from start to end, this ad was shot on a phone using TikTok to cut between them. Captions were uploaded, and then it was put into the ad account just like that. This ad took about 2.5 weeks to actually come into final production to go into the ad account, from shooting to color grading to the animations to then getting put into the account. And so the cost differences here are real. This is the actual cost difference of these two creatives, but the one on the left had better performance. And now the reason why this whole video exists is to prove the point that simply maximizing for high cost creative isn't a good exercise for majority of brands. Now, does that mean that there should be no introduction of high value creative within an account? No. The nice thing about having diversity within creative sets is that almost every user is going to see multiple ads, and so they're going to get multiple different impressions of your brand and the ability for you to deliver quality. And an example of this within the context of these particular ads is that you might see this ad on the left, and then you're reinforced with the ad on the right, which is higher quality and shows that we're not just using cameras to give away value, even though the quality of the ad here I don't think is what actually makes it deliver. I think it's actually the quality and the substance of the calculator that's being shown. But then secondly, they will also get targeted with testimonial videos and any other relevant value propositions that reinforces the brand or the product or the service, which allows you to hold performance in these lower quality ads. And so if you're an e-commerce brand, the first thing to take away from here, almost the call to action from this video, is that you should go and take your iPhone camera, shoot 10 ads and put them into the account and try to do this in under an hour. Just put low quality ads within the account. Ideally, make sure the scripting's in place, make sure you have the right hooks, make sure you have value that's being delivered throughout that asset. But this is likely going to work for you just because of the sheer volume. Okay, if you have a 5 or a 10% hit rate in the account, if you go and launch 10 to 20 ugly ads that you can just quickly whip up on your phone, you will see performance out of one of them. Now go and try to do that on the right. It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks for these to be turned around. It's going to cost you thousands of dollars in operating expenses, and you're likely going to end up with a similar hit rate. Now, once again, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't launch high quality ads within an account, but it goes to show that having diversity in the set that's being introduced and taking what is honestly a quick win is really important for most e-com brands to understand. And most people watch this and they won't even do it, which gives the people that are watching this a massive advantage over their competitors, because it means that if you are willing to go and just shoot quickly on an iPhone, put it up in the ad account, and your competitors aren't, there's arbitrage in that opportunity. This is an unbelievably quick win to be able to get into your accounts comparative to your competitors who might be going down the route. And I see brands doing this time and time again, where it's we're only going to put high quality ads within the account because I've heard we are a perfectionist. We only put perfect ads into the account. And that's completely fine. But the competitors who might be running a similar offer to whatever you're running can just go and throw 20, 40, 50 ads into the account within 2 hours, shooting on an iPhone and putting some captions over the top and tweaking the audio, compared to you might take 2 to 3 weeks to put the same volume in. And so it really becomes a cost benefit analysis of, do you want premium branding around the ads that are within the account, or do you want direct performance marketing results? And that might come down to the size of business that you're at. If you're between 2 to 10 mil, you might want to just be prioritizing performance marketing. In fact, that's actually what I would definitely recommend, so that you can actually get to scale and you can have more branding level efforts. If you're at 10 to 100, I understand how you might sit in the middle here and you'd go, okay, well, I think there probably is a quick win here. Our other brands of our size probably aren't going to make this step, and so we can go and actually introduce some volume here, but we don't want to go all in and turn our ad account just into low quality ads. And that makes complete sense. So I hope this video has been helpful in contextualizing the difference between a $10 versus a $400 ad, or a $1 versus $1,000 ad, and the fact that the cost of creation is not indicative of the performance. We see this time and time again in ad accounts, where the creative that cost thousands of dollars to shoot and edit underperforms the creative that was shot in someone's backyard off an iPhone 7. And to make sure that even if you see your competitors going and launching ads that look really clean, thousands of dollars of production value has gone into them, don't fall into that trap, and make sure that you're still introducing low effort, high volume ads. It's going to give you an arbitrage in the account.